Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel, welcome back to Microsoft Flight Simulator, and welcome to the A-37 Dragonfly mod, available on flightsim.to. We're going to be taking a look at this aircraft today in our normal fashion, starting outside with textures, taking a look at textures inside of the cabin, and then we'll get the old Dragonfly up and about for a quick flight, and then close out from there. So, without further ado, let's begin. So starting out adjusting my speeds here. Starting out our tour on the outside as always. This is actually, I entered it as the A-37 Dragonfly. That is the official designation for the attack variant of this aircraft. This is actually a trainer variant, which is the T-37 Tweet, I believe. So small differentiation there, but essentially the same airframe. But all in all, textures are looking real nice. I definitely like the added depth inside of the pitot tube there. How you can see relatively far inside of the pitot tube. That's something that we miss on a lot of aircraft. And keeping in mind that this is a freeware mod, I'm pretty well blown away by some of the details on the airframe. Let's see, one of our two, I think these are J39 engines? I know they built some under a contract. No passing the sample test today, though, which is fine. Just a big empty void into space, and then we're through the inlet section there, and that's fine. That's okay. A little bit of degradation on the textures on the default aircraft. Yeah, there you can see T-37B is the aircraft designation. Cockpit looks just as good from the outside as it does on the inside. We'll take a closer look at the cockpit once we're in that area, but it does look very good from the outside. It's probably a 1-to-1 for what you're seeing inside of the landing gear bay. Everything looking very nice there. I like the added weathering on the main landing gear. On that outer rim, you can see one of our landing lights. I'd assume that swivels down in position. I actually have not seen a T-28 in person. I've seen plenty of A-37 Dragonflies, but no T-28s. They were retired back in 2009, I believe, from the U.S. Air Force's trainer program, and primarily replaced with either Texan 2s or is it F5s? Not F5s. What's the T-28 Trojans? So you won't see any more of these in active military space, but that's not going to stop us from checking it out in the sim. So that is our quick look at the exterior here done. Let's take a look inside of the cockpit and see what's waiting for us in there. Alrighty, and taking a look around the cockpit, it is business as usual for freeware aircraft. I think it's a very good cockpit. I like the added weathering around some of our six-pack instruments. There are areas where the textures do kind of fall apart, but all in all, again, keeping in mind that this is a freeware aircraft, I think it's pretty dang good. A little bit of shadow flickering. I don't know if that's going to come through on the video or not, but just with shadowing, that could be my EMB though too. Let me turn that off. No, it's not. I mean, it is partially, but so that's a quick look around. Let's see what we have in terms of clickability in the cockpit. So obviously we've got our canopy, throttle levers. This looks to be an in-op panel, rudder trim, Non-functional canopy jettison. This is our oxygen flow. Functional landing and taxi lights. Lobing switch, is that for a antenna? I'm not sure. Landing gear. Warning light test, we'll take a look at that later. All of our external lighting, gear horn, emergency gear drop. So it looks like a good amount of clickable switches in here. Even the T-handles for the fire system seem to be clickable. This IFF panel seems to not be functional for the most part, other than the master switch, which in flight sim is fine. This is our primary radio, nav radio, air conditioning. Do we have clickable circuit breakers? We do not appear to have any clickable circuit breakers. That's fine. Another oxygen lever. And duplicate controls for the throttle and the canopy for our co-pilot. So, I'm going to shut up here. We're going to go ahead and turn up the sim, and we will take a listen to switches and that sort of thing as I move them around. Alrighty, so with our listening portion of the cockpit complete, let's go ahead and turn on some external power here. What are these? Those are the generators. We'll turn those off for now. And I want to take a look at some of the lighting that's going on. So position and strobe. Bright. And warning light test. I think that's just the gear. And we'll turn on the landing light too. Let's take a look outside. A relatively good lighting suite, actually. This is all default. No new light mod or anything like that. That's a very good default lighting suite. I'm very happy with that. I bet you it looks even better at night. Let's darken up the skies here. Oh yeah, look at that. That looks real nice. Killer. Anyway, we'll set things back to daytime and we will run through a startup in the T-28, or in the tweet. I'm going to keep forgetting what this aircraft's designation is, but let's run through a startup. Alright, and first time starting up, I essentially downloaded this aircraft and I'm giving it a try now. We'll go and close the canopy first, which is going to be this guy. Ah, nice sound effect there. So the canopy's closed. We will lock it. Let's see. Fuel boosters. Okay, and then we've got ignition and starter for the left, ignition starter for the right. Is there a fuel shutoff I need to worry about? It doesn't look like it. So we're going to go ahead and start the left engine first, ignition and starter into the ground position. I bet you have to hold them. Yep. Okay, ignition, start. Oh, that sounds good. That sounds so good. Sounds amazing. So there's light off. Through 30%. EGT is in the green. Oil pressure is approaching green. I think that's a successful startup. There we go. Accelerating. Through 60. EGT's falling. Starter off. Okay, that's a successful start. Left generator on. You can see we're loaded up now. And we'll do the same thing for the right engine. Wow, that's really nice. I love that. I was not expecting as good of a sound suite as what we have today. Okay, we're going to do the same thing for the right engine. There's light off. EGT is rising. Fuel flows in. Oil pressure is moving. Starter cut out. EGT is on the rise. Keep her below 700. That's another successful start. Generator on. Load sheds even between the two motors. Let's turn on the pitot heat. Three green, takeoff trim. Engine is locked, or canopy is locked rather. And I think that's going to do us. We'll set our master IFF. Shouldn't need any radio lights. Shouldn't need really any lights today, actually. That's a successful startup. Let's do a quick controls check. Very nice. Looking real quick for a trim indicator. I don't think I have anything, so we're just gonna fly by the seat of our pants. We'll go ahead and taxi out here, and I will catch up with you guys once we're back on the active. This thing sounds good. Alrighty, and here we are rolling up to our active runway. Winds are nothing right now, so we're just going to take our favored direction. We'll make a right turn here on what appears to be a closed runway, but this is flight sim, so we're gonna use it anyways. All right, flaps are set. All engines in the green. Transponder is on. Let's push them up. Here's 100 knots. Airborne. Tap of the gear, or tap of the brakes, bring in the gear. Flaps coming up. Landing lights coming off. As we take flight in the tweet. First impressions, it's a very maneuverable aircraft. Responds very well to inputs, even though it is just a trainer. There's a Canadian variant of this aircraft that the snowbirds. Oh, the Sim's frozen. The Sim's crashing. No, it's not. It's just having a bad time. So are we. It's fine. It's fine. You know, I didn't even like frame rates to begin with. So I actually enjoy this stop presentation. I need to start coming up with like short form stories to tell while the Sim's frozen, because it happens frequently enough to where I think I could do that. Anyway, before I was interrupted by my extremely rude frame rate here, the Snowbirds used to fly a variant of this aircraft, and I actually got to see it fly. I don't remember if it was a Dragonfly, or if it was a variant of the Tweet, or if it was similar to how we have the AT-6 Texan in the US, and the Canadians have a different designation, and the aircraft is designated as a Harvard. It's the same aircraft, same Pratt Whitney PT6 turboprop up front. But slightly different aircraft, so I'm guessing that was something like what it was. Breaking out to the right, and the Tweet, and into the vertical. 60 degrees, coming over the top, and ready, pull. We're way too low to safely do this maneuver, but we're going to do it anyway. Really piling on the G-forces, screaming on the deck. 235, 240-ish knots. I do love the maneuverability of this airplane. It's docile enough to where you can throw it around and not feel bad, and it's not snappy to the point where it feels uncontrollable, like the Asobo F-18 does without the Warrior mod. Engines at full, through 200, 250. There is 300 knots indicated. Ready and brake. I could just sit here and do laps like this all day long. And through 300, pulling up to bird strike. Massive, colossal bird strike. 60 degrees, nose up. There is 200 now. Over the interstate. 130 knots. There's a big old vulture there, you see him? $350. Really piling on the G's now. Fun airplane to fly. Let's go for a touch and go. .200 knots. Landing lights coming on, landing gear coming down, flaps set to 10. Or whatever that degree is. What is it? 40 degrees already in the first knot, just 40 degrees. Alright. What are our options for speed brakes? Do we have them? Oh, are those little thrust reversers? They are. That's amazing. So this, like, vectors the thrust outward a little bit, which creates a braking effect. So we could, in theory, just fly in like this all day long. And it looks like there are little gates that come up over the intakes as well. Although those appear to be part of the flap system. Yeah, as I raise flaps, they go away. It's interesting. I do have a gigantic board that comes down below the nose gear. Alright, let's really dump the nose here. Try and hit just beyond that touchdown threshold. There's the touch, and here we go. A little bit more, wheels up. Tap of the brakes. Landing lights off. Cruise down to the end of the threshold. We'll do a Blue Angels number 6 style departure, which is probably something this aircraft isn't capable of doing, but by golly, we are going to give it our best. I think I might have broken the landing lights. Yeah, they're definitely not retracting anymore. Oh well, you live and you learn. Yeah, they're like half deployed. I don't know what to do about that. Anyway, I'm enjoying this, but we're going to go ahead and close it out here. We're going to do one more full stop in the Dragonfly. We'll do a pattern. And we'll bring it in, park it, and shut it down here at Luke Air Force Base. This is definitely going to be a keeper airplane for me, I can tell you that much. Alright, gear coming down. Set flaps 40. Oh, big balloon there. Yeah, and overhead in the brake. Halfway down the field. And it'll turn out to a 45. Try and do one continuous loop here. You guys know what this lobing switch does for me? Let me know, because I have not an idea in the slightest. Alright, we are going to be landing again on that closed down runway. So we're beaming the numbers now. Let's start our base to final. A little bit of an overshoot, but nothing too bad. Able to easily correct. Oh, we'll just float around down the runway here. Gentle touch. Nose gear still in the air. There's the nose gear. And that is the... I'm going to keep calling it A-37 Dragonfly just because that's what I know it as, but also the T-37 Tweet. A very, very, very fun aircraft. A free aircraft as well. And definitely one I think you guys should add to your virtual hangar if you haven't already. What do you guys think of the aircraft if you have flown it? And if you haven't, based on this video or other ones you've seen, do you think you'll be picking it up? But that is just about it for me in this video. I will catch you guys in the next one. Thank you very much for watching. I do appreciate it. And I will see you in the next one. As always, take it easy.